Oh boy, Toby dog. We're getting some of the first snow of the year. You see this, buddy? There, come on now. I'll let you go sniff. Toby's got to go mark his territory. He's been particularly focused on that spot. Hey there, Abby dog. How are you doing, sweetie pie? Hi. Oh, Abby, you want your vitamin? Toby, here's your vitamin. There you go. Yes, so winter is coming and we got to get prepared. I go twice. How are you doing this morning? Hi, Blue. Hey, Bing. Barney. Larney. How you doing there, Telly? Good to see you, pal. Hi. Abby, you want more petting? Fair enough. Fair enough. So today I'm actually in the process of finishing the build out of the winter cattle yard. The ladies are going to be going into this yard. They weren't here last year. I actually had Joey Ramone and Macho Man here last year, but the girls are going to end up here this year because I actually like having the barn accessible to the girls, particularly when I get into calving season, because what I can do inside of here is I can make little stalls if I need to pen in a mom who might be having some trouble. And so I decided to move it back here. But yeah, the other day I actually laid out all of my cattle panels and got them set. I even set up that feeder that I bought at the auction earlier this year. Now what I'm actually in the process of doing is moving the posts that we used in previous years. So like this post, let's see if I can get it out. There we go. So I'm moving posts like this one, and I'm using them to secure the cattle panels back there, because if I don't, the cattle will eventually start to push them and move them all out of shape. And so that's my task, or at least one of my tasks for today. But I figured it'd be useful to give you guys a rundown of all the preps I'm doing for getting ready for winter, because I feel like I've gotten very lucky the last couple of winters, but this winter could be a little bit more difficult. And so I just want to be ready. I still have a few more weeks before the onset of winter, but as you saw this morning, we're already getting some snow. T-posts are recyclable. So the crew, the moo, seems to know I had to do some water work today, so they decided that the minute the trough emptied, they would flip it. Thanks, guys. I know. But I gotta do what I gotta do here, girls. Let me fill up your trough first. Macho Man, I'm never gonna be able to do this if they keep doing this. So I wanted to move the water trough down and I didn't want to waste any water, so I let it empty out this afternoon. But now they're all like rushing to get it. Back away, stay away from it. Macho Man, you jerk. Cindy Lauper, step away please. Oh, hey Elvis, you're not gonna shy away. I am going to need to set up your winter water infrastructure and this is not helping. Yes, I'm talking to you, Cindy Lauper. Yeah, Macho Man, I had to move it to the whole other side of the fence because of you. Ariel, don't you start now. Come on, back up. I just need to get enough critical mass of water in here, and then you guys can come back to it. Macho Man, stop it! Come on, man! You're gonna break the fence, or you're gonna break me, or you're gonna break yourself. Don't do that. Now, admittedly, I kind of sabotaged myself a little bit. I wanted to move the water trough to a new spot because I was gonna leave it there for a couple of days, and like I never like to leave the water trough in the same spot for too long because they can beat up the pasture. I probably went an hour later than I should have, because when cattle are drinking hay, they need a lot more water, and so they were definitely thirsty by the time I got up here. It'll right itself in about 20 minutes. But I actually came up here this afternoon to install this little device. It's called the freeze miser. I use it this time of year when our temps are going to drop kind of into the freezing territory, and I don't want my water lines to freeze because, you know, all the water lines I have on the pasture right now, they're all above ground, and so if we get temps that are like in the 20s, that's going to create problems for me. This thing has like a little thermometer coil in it, and what happens is once it hits I think it's like 36 degrees Fahrenheit, the water will release and it will let a trickle of water run, and that moving water will protect it from freezing. It says it says 37 degrees Fahrenheit, sorry, 3 degrees Celsius. You know, this I've found is very effective into like the teens. And because the temp's gonna drop into the 20s tonight, I need to get this hooked up and let the water run overnight and let this thing let the water trickle out so that my pipes don't freeze. Baby B, you're being a little bit of a piggy. I need you to leave, please. Eventually, I was able to fence off the water trough and install the freeze miser. Hopefully it's gonna work tonight and I don't wake up to find my water trough frozen in the morning. We'll find out the answer to that one by the end of this video. Now, another one of the winter preps I have to do has to do with today's video sponsor, Blue Eddy. So if you guys have watched our channel over the years, you know I'm a huge fan of Blue Eddy. This right here is our Blue Eddy that I have been using for a few years now. I think I've had it for 3 years. It has been my backup power source for pretty much any snowstorm we've ever had. When I have a farm project somewhere around the farm far away from electricity, it's easy to just throw it in the side-by-side and give it a go and do the project that I need to do. And when our tiny little community was devastated by flooding last year, I was able to loan the Blue Eddy out to all my neighbors for folks who were struggling with no power. It was like such an easy thing to give somebody and help them and really solve people's problems. So I have been using this thing over and over and I freaking love it. But the other day, Blue Eddy contacted me and asked if I wanted a new unit, and I said, heck yeah. So that is what I am unboxing right here. Wow, look at that. Here we go. Here's the side-by-side comparison. The older unit versus the new unit. And while this thing is awesome and handy, I think this thing is gonna make an even bigger difference. You know, when winter hits hard on the farm, the power can often take a vacation. You know, we have above ground power lines here, we get lots of wind and ice storms, and we're very remote, and so that can knock out our power. But this year, particularly for the barn, my plan is to use the Blue Eddy, because right here is our freezer, and if the power goes out in this building, which is not attached to our house and isn't actually on our main power system, I could have thousands of dollars at risk. Or as another example, upstairs I have all of my incubators, and when you're in the middle of a hatch and you're hatching ducklings or goslings or chicks, you can't have the power shut off even though you lost power to your building. Again, that's where our Blue Eddy comes into play. With my brand new upgraded Apex 300 from Blue Eddy, I will be ready to go regardless of what the weather sends my way. What I really love about the Blue Eddy is it's truly plug and play. I just see where I need it, plug it in, and essentially I'm covered. Blue Eddy's intelligent ecosystem all ties together with a single, simple phone app, so I can check the status, I can get storm alerts, and I can manage the power right from my phone. That means if I get a storm alert in the middle of the night, I don't have to come out to the barn in my skivvies to check on things, and all the devices that I need to run are running A-OK. With the new Apex 300 model, Blue Eddy's pushed hard for efficiency. Blue Eddy says you can get up to 40% more battery life compared to typical setups, which matters a lot when you're riding out a long storm. And when you pair your Blue Eddy device with a solar panel, you effectively have infinite power. The other really great thing about the Blue Eddy system is it's modular. You don't have to get everything all at once. You can get one component like the Apex 300 now. You can add it into the mix, or you can get the cart, which actually makes the Blue Eddy a completely mobile system. And the Apex 300 can also put out 120 volt power or 240. And so whether it's a regular household appliance or a freezer or some of my more heavy energy hoggy farm equipment, the Blue Eddy Apex 300 is going to have you covered there too. The bottom line is Blue Eddy makes you ready for winter and makes your winter farm prep simple. So check out the link down below and you can get a Blue Eddy for yourself and you will be ready for winter as well. And thanks again to Blue Eddy for sponsoring this segment as well as helping keep our farm running. And now I guess it's time to feed the animals. Now, Barnacus, do you think actually standing on the fence is gonna make me give you your little goat alfalfa pellets any sooner? Get back there. Bluey, Bingo, I don't wanna see any sass from you two either. But yes, we gotta feed everybody dinner tonight. Come on, inside, everybody inside, let's go, come on. All right, I know I got hungry goats. Even though you guys have been eating all day, you just like the treat stuff, I know you. Back up, give me some space. Yeah, this looks like it got rained on. They don't even eat their pellets all the way every night. They just get very excited about it when it first comes. There you go. Put some in here. There you go. And for my darling little girls, come here. Let me dump your water and change your water. Pablo, don't. Hey, Pablo, get down. Oh no. I don't know if you guys caught what was going down there, but we almost saw a burglary. I stashed the dog food up here. Pablo started to try to scale this. That would have been a disaster. All right, here comes your food. Here you go. There you go, guys. All right, first we're gonna feed the Abby dog. There you go, girl. Then we're gonna feed the Toby dog. I think tomorrow is gonna be when I officially close up the bird yard. Good morning, Mr. Toby Dog. How's it going, buddy? Hi. How are you, pal? Let's check on our project from last night, huh? So I've had some chickens lately that have been refusing to go into their coop at night. And so you saw that group of chickens that were sleeping over by like my water infrastructure. And so I'm gonna be locking them inside this coop. I don't know, probably for the next 24 to, I'll probably end up doing it 48 hours. I will give them food and water. I'll just show you the little glimpse inside here. This coop is actually built for twice as many birds. And so there's plenty of space for them. And so they'll stay in here for 2 days and then I'll let them out again. And that's just how, if I have birds that aren't trained to a coop, that's just what I've found works best for retraining them to a coop. I'm just gonna reset my door to make sure it doesn't open over the next day. All right, on to more pressing business. You ready to show everybody that more pressing business, Abby? I know Bluey and Bingo think they are more pressing business. And they're like, please, sir, let us out. Please, let us out. Oh, poor little Bluey, poor little Bingo. I'll let you guys out in a couple minutes. The more pressing business was to make sure that this is still running. And so it sounds like the pump's still running. We've got water still trickling through. You can actually even see it's like 25 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So the water definitely froze down here. Oh, poor Abby can't even get into her water bucket. But come with me because we really need to check up at the top of the hill to see if the water's still running for the cattle. That's a good thing. Still running, still gunning. Looks like it's working good. And turn that down. I had it open full blast. I actually don't need it full blast right now. So yeah, you do get water that leaks off, and this is actually why I wanted to move it and make sure it was like kind of all coming downhill like this, and that the cattle would drink from that side. But yeah, the freeze miser, it works great. Now, I wouldn't want to trust that into the depths of winter, which is why I don't keep my cattle up here year round. But in terms of being able to keep the cattle out here another week or two, I'll totally be good with that. I'll keep taking my time getting the winter yard set up, which is more of the work that I've got to do today. And that's not me complaining. I actually like when I have pretty straightforward, tangible projects to work on the farm. Like this time of year, the way I split things up is I will usually do some of the farm work first thing in the morning, then I'll go inside and do some work, which last year involved writing my new book, which is coming out, Dirt Rich Living. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about it so far, but pre-orders are open, and if you would pre-order, it would mean the world to me. And so that's definitely one project that I've got, and actually I'm working on a new book right now. It's a graphic novel I'm drawing, and so I'm plugging away at that. But then by the afternoon, when the sun gets high and the weather gets to be, I don't know, I think the high today is gonna be like 50 something, I'll be out here working again and doing more stuff. You know, it really is the cycles of life and like sort of how your day will ebb and flow and change over the course of a year. That's one of the things I like about farming so much. You know, if I think about like past jobs that I've had, yeah, there's been certain busy seasons and certain like seasonal things that happen, but your life isn't changed and shifted nearly as much by major things like the placement of the earth around the sun or the tilt or rotation of the earth. Like all of those things play a massive role in my day-to-day here on the farm. And it just makes you feel more grounded and connected to the natural world that you live in. Hey there, boss cow. How are you doing, girl? Can I say hey? Hi. I don't have any treats for you, I know. So yeah, this is our boss cow, Audrey. Bonnie McMurray. She's here with her mom and her daughter and her sister, her half-sister. So you've got Ariel, who's the mother. You got Bonnie, who's the first daughter. Bonnie's daughter, who's Curly Sue right back there. And then you actually have Ariel's newest calf, who still remains unnamed, the unnamed B-girl. Somehow they pushed their hay up against the fence, which I don't love, but hopefully they'll knock it down over the next couple of hours. One of the things that's nice about using the freeze miser for the water is I've now opened up the entire pasture to the cattle so they can kind of just go around and pick everything clean. And I've still left a couple of bales of hay out here. And so, I don't know, they probably have enough hay for the next 3-4 days. We'll see how they do. And then I'll make a determination if I want to move them down or not by then. You hear that, Cindy Lauper? How are you doing, Buttercup? Let me pet you? Oh. Still a little shy. So Buttercup is the friendliest of this year's heifers. I'm really working on her. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Buttercup. You're a sweetheart. You really are. Actually, here's another family pairing that you see here. So Anna Green Gables, who is Buttercup's mom, is also Belinda Carlisle's mom. And Belinda Carlisle, as many of you guys know, was the first calf we ever had born on the farm. And then you can see Belinda Carlisle's daughter, Cindy Lauper, right here eating with her. And so that's her grandmother, basically. That's also her half-sister. Yes, and Belinda, you are a very friendly cow. You can be a little unpredictable at times, but you're a good girl, and I'm very happy to have you on the farm. See Macho Man back there. Yeah, the whole herd's sort of spreading out because they have the space. And like I said, I'm not rushing to get them down to their winter yard because honestly, the sooner I do that, that means the sooner I have to like keep them crammed in there pretty much until spring. And so once I move them, I don't move them back. And that's why I try to get every inch of the winter out here. And plus, it gives me more time to make my winter preps around the farm. So when I was up here the other day feeding the bales of hay to the cattle, I noticed this rock and I actually dug it out. At some point, I'll probably try to move it. Just like these rocks, like they just unearth themselves each spring. It's basically the frost and thaw cycle, kicking the rocks up. Our farm soil literally grows rocks, which is, I guess, the result of glacial activity from about 100 million years ago. But the consequence is they keep popping up. And like I said, it's like we're almost a rock farm at times. All right, let's get back down the hill. Oh my gosh, Ginny, you got another one. If there's any doubt by you guys who the barn cat of the year is gonna be, let me put it to rest very quickly. Yeah, I think the victory is going to be going to the internet's most famous cat bunghole. You know, it's funny, I did that video the other week telling the story up in the barn about like how we bought the farm. And I think most of the comments were about the fact that Ginny's butt kept getting in the way of the camera. And so yes, when I do future story times, I will try to figure out a way to work around that. I'm not sure if I have a solution for it yet, but yeah, I hear you guys. She just loves to get into the mix of things, and like when she sees me at a table, she just wants to be like right in front of me and having me pet her. That's just how she is. Not unlike Abby dog or Toby dog. What are you doing? You got the zoomies suddenly. Why do you got the zoomies? Because you want to get pet? Well, you know the only way you get pet is when you sit and you behave. See, I'm gonna pet Toby. There we go. And since you've been behaving, now I'm gonna pet Abby. Good girl, good girl. There you go. Would my frosty goats like to come out? What's up there, Larnicus? Bonk, 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 bonk. Telemachus? Bonk, 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 bonk. Barnicus? Bonk. Aw, how's my Bluey? How's my Bingo? You girls are getting used to the cold? Your shaggy coat is getting much shaggier. You know, my friend Jess, who actually was the one who gave me Bluey and Bingo, and she's whose farm I drove down to go pick them up. Since she's down in South Carolina, she always thinks of like the northern winters as like this weird, crazy novelty. And she's always very curious about like what their coat's gonna look like. I've been giving her regular coat updates because yeah, they are growing pretty well. Well, son of a gun. Looks like I still have 3 rogue chickens I'm gonna have to try to catch today, but at least that's less than the chickens I had yesterday roaming around. The goats always rush in here first thing in the morning to look for the chicken food. I'll have to bust out the fish net and see if I can catch those chickens in a little bit. You know, one exciting thing that Jess, she has her own like YouTube channel called Roots and Refuge Farm, the two of us are gonna be doing this winter is we're gonna be doing a couple of live shows. Like this is different, it's an experiment. We're only gonna do 2 of them for right now. If it works out good, we'll do a bunch more. We really have decided that it would be a lot of fun to do kind of like a live show. Sort of like, you know, the way podcasts will do live shows. The way it's gonna work is I'm gonna be telling a brand new story that I've been working on. It would be typically the type of thing I'd make like one of those crazy hour-long videos for, but I'm gonna be doing it live. I'm doing like a whole bunch of drawings for it as well. Jess has a story that she's gonna tell, and then we'll end up doing like a Q&A and like hanging out with folks and chatting and all that good stuff. And so, yeah, if you're interested, it's gonna be January 31st in Boston, February 7th in Charlotte. I'll leave a link down below for the tickets, and you should definitely check it out. It should be a lot of fun. Hey, it's the Goose Squad. What's going on, guys? Oh, did you guys see that? Oh, this is cute. So the pond did freeze over. It's funny, actually, there were a couple of them just standing on the ice, but they will break it up and then eventually the ice will melt today. But it was definitely a frozen pond, and it was frozen enough to support the weight of a duck. They keep going on it, and then it, woo! It's funny how they like will go up on the ice and then they'll break the ice and then they'll slip down. What do you think, Abby? Yeah, it's getting cold here. Hey, Betty Rubble. How's it going, girl? I don't have any food, but I'm just coming to say hey. Yeah, Betty has become pretty comfortable with me. If I had a brush in my hand, I'd actually try to brush her right now. She's let me brush her a few times. I don't have any food. I know, you're giving me the gesture of like, where's your treats? Produce the treats. Abby knows not to get sassy with a heifer like Betty. So you'll see her give her kind of a wide berth. And Betty's gotten used to Abby, so that's good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep her. I actually think I might still sell Belle, but I am pretty sure I'm gonna keep Betty. Even if I don't do AI next year, I might do it a year later, and so she would definitely be a candidate for that. Abby, I saw you getting fresh. Don't do that. Hey buddy, I caught you napping. What's up, pal? Abby's actually napping over in the goat yard. I just spent most of the morning finishing up the cattle yard, and so that's now finished and ready to go. I still don't exactly know when I'm gonna move them in, but it'll be real soon, and that video will probably show up right there, but until then, you could watch something else. But thanks for watching, everybody. Oh, hi Abs, how are you doing?